poison control centers are seeing a rise in calls about overdoses. This year, they have had 3,000 calls involving drugs like Ozempic. That's an increase of 1,500% since 2019. The popularity of the drug has also created problems for people who use it for diabetes.
Dr. Nidhi Kansal is an internal medicine physician at Northwestern Medical Group, and she joins us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. First of all, are these drugs all the same, or are they different? That there's, I think, 3 and 1 on the way.
Yes, so there's a few different injectables. Ozempic actually came out in 2017 for diabetes. It's only recently gained popularity because the same version of it is out as Wegovy for weight loss. So these drugs often come out for diabetes first and then get studied in a different population of non-diabetics, and they show weight loss, so then they get approved for weight loss.
And there's another one coming in January. Is this different?
Zepbound got approved last month, so it's FDA approved. It's not physically available yet, but hopefully it will be soon.
Are they all doing the same thing, basically?
So Ozempic and Wegovy affect one hormone in the brain, and currently Mounjaro, which is for diabetes, and Zepbound, which just got FDA approved for weight loss, affects 2 hormones. So they're similar.
So other than maybe making it more difficult for people with diabetes to get these drugs, which is an obvious problem, I hear stories about people taking this drug to lose weight, and they look withdrawn or dehydrated. And what are some of the issues that people are experiencing?
Yes, there are side effects like any medication. It can slow down the way your stomach empties, so people can feel nausea. If you don't do it correctly or dose it correctly according to how your physician told you, you can throw up. You know, if you are not talking to your physician about side effects and continuing on the drug, we can expect some of these side effects to take place.
Do they know the long-term effects of these? I think people are like, it seems like a magic fix, but has there been enough studies to know the long-term effects?
You know, we've been studying the science behind obesity for quite some time. It's obviously taken off in the past 20 years, but I don't know if people realize the first weight loss drug was FDA approved in 1959. So this is a long time coming. The science is there. We do need more longevity on studies, but currently, clinicians, I don't really have concerns about long-term negative effects of drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy.
I can understand somebody who has a metabolic issue, somebody who's obese, who needs to take this as a jump start. That's great. What about people who are 15 pounds overweight or something, or want to lose weight quickly before a wedding or after the new year? Does that seem right that those people should be able to get that drug?
So I think we should talk about percentages. The data shows that diet and exercise often helps people lose about 3% of their body weight permanently. If you need to lose more than 3%, more than 5%, we should say, that's what you need. That's what we think about when we talk about FDA-approved drugs. It's not for aesthetics, it is about pure health. So it should be a discussion with your clinician about what is the reason for taking this. Yeah. And the clinician should be the gatekeeper in some ways of using it appropriately.
And so they're clearly prescribing it for people who don't need to lose as much weight as that.
There's a lot of abuse of drugs in general, yes.
Yeah. So the story leading into you talked about poison control centers getting a lot. How are people overdosing on this? Just over-injecting to try and lose weight faster, or what?
So that may happen, but I think the issue is actually there's a lot of illegal pharmacies popping up that are compounding this drug that are not made by the pharmaceutical companies. Oh. And then it's easier to overdose because you have it in a vial instead of a pen that has a safety mechanism. So people should not be taking this drug without a prescription from a physician and a conversation about what is correct dosing.
So these are like side
things,
drugs that you got to be careful of.
Yeah, and the FDA is suing now, so you have to be careful.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being here. We'll have a link for more information on our website. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.